Can't be fearless, because that's when you get hurt. You got to be smart and realise that you can potentially get really hurt, and obviously figure out the dangers and spots you don't want to be, and put yourself in and try and keep yourself as safe as you can. But basically, you're on that edge of you're in a very dangerous spot. Yeah, as you get older, I feel like you figure that out a little more. Surfing big waves from a young age, like I was 14, 15 and paddling out when it was pretty heavy, and I'd never sort of say no to paddling out. It was just in me to paddle out, even if I sat on the shoulder and watched what the older guys were doing. And well, I guess when you're young like that, you're not really thinking too much. I guess you want to prove a point to everybody, and it was what I wanted to chase, becoming a professional surfer. So yeah, I guess I wasn't thinking too much at all. It's like pretty much just put your head down and go kind of thing. And all the stuff on the news and whatever those days is so exciting to watch and be a part of. It's the biggest attraction. Like when highlights come out of big waves, it's almost more viewed than a competition or something. It's kind of the pinnacle of surfing. And my partner, she knows what she's been with me since I was 20, so she knows what it's like. So I'm sure I'm scared her once or twice.
Laurie.
But that's part of it. So I was at a prime age. I was 26 and I was performing. I had covers of magazines that year and won Big Wave Awards for Australasia and Biggest Tube, and it's all I knew from day one was my income was surfing, and then bang.
The surf industry apocalypse happened in the late 90s, heading into the noughties. An unprecedented boom, really. At one stage there, I think collectively the industry was probably worth 10 billion.
And to the point where it was almost ridiculous what some of the surf companies were doing. If you went to Times Square in New York City, you had MTV with Carson Daly up on the top floor, and right beneath it, like the Billabong store. And straight across the road was the Quicksilver store. And so they felt like the dream would never end. But it did end. Spectacularly. It ended so spectacularly. It basically just blew up.
And sure enough, towards the end of the noughties, that's exactly what happened. Contracts got pulled back in, and Laurie's was one of them.
There's a lot of good surfers that got cut at the same time.
Just heavy, death-defying waves. Who doesn't want to watch that? And no one did it with more grace and ability than Laurie, so it was pretty mind-blowing to watch him kind of back working as a Tyler, as an unpaid professional surfer, when he's one of the best talents on the planet.
People blew up about it. They go, well, how's this happening? Like, this guy's amazing. How can you drop a guy like that? And it seemed like the only person who wasn't pissed off about it was Laurie.
I'd never tell people this, but like, it was a really hard transition for me at the start. I had this massive low where you lose your sponsorship or whatever. You got to find a job, and I got no experience with nothing. At the same time, we were having our first baby, our first daughter, Isla, and life was it was a pretty stressful moment that sort of year. But like everything I find, I stay positive and I found my feet, and I've got good friends around and a beautiful partner and kids.
A lot of cases, there wasn't a lot of loyalty from the brands towards them. They were fairly expendable. A lot of these guys you got to remember, have been doing that since they were kids and grow up with a mindset where they go, well, this is a career, I'm going to chase this hard. So they really didn't know anything else and probably didn't have a lot of formal kind of training in anything else to fall back on.
It's lucky I have a lot of tradesmen around me that basically were offering me, you want to come to this, you want to come to this, or whatever. And so, yeah, the change was obviously a huge change because you're getting paid a lot less money to go work 10 times as hard. I think the positive is that it's made me realise to appreciate every hour of the day. It's made me realise that life's short and precious, and when I was surfing and getting paid to surf, there's a lot of times you're cruising and not doing much at all, which sounds like the lifestyle and is amazing, but I'm a really active, busy person, so in a way it's kind of it's cool being busy and working for your money, and now I feel like I appreciate surfing way more.
To make the darkest of us blush too soon, chew you up so that you have the midst to cries, you twist and shouts, how my heart turns.
A lot of the guys who are doing it aren't doing it for huge contract dollars, and if they didn't have the contract dollars, they'd still be doing it anyway, and there's a lot of guys that do. Do those people deserve to be well paid and well rewarded for like those crazy acts of bravado? Yeah, they should be.
Australia could produce a lot more big wave surfers, and it gives kids the opportunity to chase their dream and something they love doing, like every other sport out there, and other countries who are pushing for big wave surfers in their country, and Australia will just fall behind if they don't sort of step up a little bit. It's kind of like like I said, there's a lot of good Australian big wave surfers, and not many of them are getting paid. Not even that, it's just cool to watch what people can do in the ocean, and especially in big, scary waves. It's the biggest attraction. You've got to think about what's going to be after career or whatever it is you're doing that you're making money, because it could potentially end. And now I've seen what you've got to think about after surfing, that I want to keep that too.